everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Exploiting the Explicit. This is episode 8, and I'm your host, Abigail Hathaway, and I'd like to welcome you. And thanks for joining. Here is our co host.
Corey Diamond. Let's go.
Woohoo! Let's go, Fuego.
Coco Fuego.
And we're here. We're excited to connect with you all, and we want to thank our new subscribers. I hope you're tuning
Yes.
in again. And I'd like to share with you today's plan. There's nothing on the page, for we are going off script today,
Mmm.
as we have all the time in the world, but no time at all. Because what is time? But yet a construct created by man to measure. Or is time real? Is time only real because we say it is? Because we perceive it to be? What dimension is time? Only time will tell. I don't know. Corey, what are your thoughts on time?
Well, I feel like time is the most precious resource that we have, but yet it is something that we are the least disciplined with. And is similar to if you were to just drive down the street and throw $100 bills out the window until you run out. That's the way I think a lot of
Yeah.
people manage their time. And I think it's one of those things that if we learn to be more conscious of, and if basically we treat our time the way we treat our money or our relationships or anything that's valuable to us, then I think our experiences in life would be uh, better, higher
Yeah,
quality,
more
more
valuable. Because
valuable.
if time is the most valuable resource known to man, then it would our time would be more valuable if we valued time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people like essentially will compensate you based on the value that you can provide with your time and your experiences, right? And so if you haven't learned a way to present yourself, to provide value with the seconds and the minutes that you have interacting with people or providing services to people, then the value of your time is going to be greatly reduced. Whereas in reality, we all have the same value. We're all human beings. We're all made in God's image. We all should be worth a lot. But because we haven't learned how to manage our time effectively, then we're giving away our time at a discount
Yeah.
and we're giving ourselves away at a discount. And so it's like, okay, I'm not satisfied with how much money I'm making. Well, my question to you will be, how have you been spending your time? Because
Mhm.
there's typically a direct correlation between how much money or success you have and the way in which you have invested your time.
Literally. It's like transmutating time into a monetary tangible form. And one thing that you've said with me that has stuck is that, like, what value are you putting on your time? Because everybody loves a discount. So
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to look for the discount that they can pay you for that time.
Yes.
And we have the free will to be able to value our time at whatever rate we choose.
Yes. And
Hmm.
and something really poignant that someone in marketing recently shared with me is like you are actually paying people with your attention. That is
Yeah.
where the value is in whatever you're giving out. And so
Mm,
it's like when these marketers, these advertisers, they're just trying to get your attention because your attention is worth way more than whatever money they spend to get
right.
you to look at it.
Yeah.
And it's like thinking about our time as a priceless commodity is the best way I think to live life because really it is the only resource you cannot get back.
Right.
in this life.
Yeah.
You can get back money, you can get back water, you can get back
Mhm.
clothes, you can get back anything else that we value, but you cannot get back time.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's kind of like,
Well, or people. I mean, in a
yeah, but are
way,
people a resource? I
they
think
can.
that,
I guess it's how it's viewed and how
yeah,
the argument's laid out
yeah,
because they could be a resource,
w-
but also not. It's a
yeah,
dichotomic universe, so
yeah.
all things are all things and nothing
Well,
simultaneously.
but on that same train of thought, like maybe you should value people more
Yeah.
because of the fact that they are sharing an invaluable resource with you
Mhm.
when they're in your presence.
Right.
And so you that would cause you to treat each person like a millionaire or a billionaire
Yeah.
because you value their attention so much.
Yeah.
They're giving you part of their unlimited resource when they interact with you. You
Mhm.
know, it's like that, I think, helps you to see time so much more importantly when
Mhm.
you're dealing with people, not to take people for granted, not to think like, "Oh, well, they'll be here tomorrow. I can just talk to them tomorrow." It's like, no, if you value people in your life, then don't see them as someone that you can just talk to when you feel like it or take away their time without thinking about how they're feeling or what they're doing. It's like being mindful, huh? How is this person's experience being? Am I investing in them the same way they're investing in me?
Yeah.
Like be reciprocal in the way that you're exchanging your time because a lot of people I realize don't put the same value on your time as you will. And so you
Right.
got to protect your time and realize like, hey, I'm giving away this precious resource
Mhm.
to this person who isn't valuing it. Does that
Mhm.
mean I don't value myself? Does that mean I don't value my own time
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm giving it away?
Right. You're giving it at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me of another quote that I heard in grade school, and it has stuck with me ever since. It's like, don't make someone a priority in your life when you're not even an option to them. And it
Mhm.
reminds me of that because it's like if you're investing your time in them, but they're not investing any time in you, where's the ROI?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And it's like I do think that it's not that you can't give away your time. I
Mhm.
mean, you can give away money. You can be known as a generous person and just give away money. The whole point is consciousness, being
Yeah.
awareness that you are giving away time. It's a total difference even in terms of giving away money if you've had somebody some random thief or something dipping into your bank account, you didn't know it, and they just been taking money out
Mhm.
slowly over time, you didn't know it. You'd be like, "Crap, they've been taking money from me. I didn't want that money to be used that way, right?"
Yeah.
And it's similar to like you might have been fine donating that money each month if you knew where it was going, but when you don't know where it's going, it makes it so much more of like a crime, right? And it's the same with your
Right.
time. It's like
Mhm.
if you're just letting your time get siphoned away on stuff that doesn't matter, then it's irresponsible.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You should be conscious of where your
Mhm.
time is going. It's not that you
Mhm.
can't give it away, it's
Mhm.
that the consciousness associated with giving away that's so important, you know?
Right. Yeah, I feel like there's that underlining component of that balance of like having to be selfish to be selfless. It's
Mhm.
like we really have to be mindful of where we're investing our time, and it almost in a way it's like we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. We don't want to, disrupt the status quo, but we also have free will where we can pick and choose who we interact with, who we spend our time with. And so like that's that selfish component. Um, but in order to be selfless, so in order to be the fullest version of yourself, to be able to give back to
Mhm.
others and give to this world, you need to be whole. But if you're being not selfish and you're just giving anyone and everyone in the world your attention that wants it, then you're neglecting yourself and you're
Mhm.
just giving your resources away, not letting there be any left over for you.
Mhm.
and you're harming you and you're hurting your own feelings and your own self versus hurting their feelings and them by saying, no, this is not where I'm investing my time right now.
Yeah.
And I know it's really hard, especially like in work.
Mhm.
We think, oh, well, we're told we have to do this. Well, what if it's unethical? What if it's illegal? Well,
Mm.
we have the free will and ability to put our foot down,
Mhm.
and say, I'm not investing my time in doing this.
Mhm.
Um, so it's that balance of having to have that component of selfishness to be selfless.
Mhm.
Um, how I see it.
Yeah, for sure. And um it was something else that was coming up when you were speaking about time in the sense of um shoot, I lost it. But
Oh,
it's okay. I
it'll
haven't
come
lost
back.
it before. But yeah. No, I definitely think that making sure that we are keeping people in a high value, but we're not valuing it more than we value ourselves is what I hear in terms of the selflessness because we're all equal, right? And
Yeah.
so we're seeing people as equals, then by us valuing our time, by us valuing their time, we should be valuing our time. And I realize
Right.
a lot of people, they will look at someone else and see them on a pedestal and see them up higher and think, oh, wow, this celebrity's talking to me. This person, you value their time so much more. But it's like, no, they're all human too. You should be valuing your time
Yeah.
just as much. If some celebrity's talking to you, you should be like, yeah, nice to meet you. I'm so and so. I'm giving you my time as well. Don't matter who
Exactly.
it is. I've met
Right.
several celebrities in my life, and it's like you don't have to be impressed because a celebrity's interacting with you
Right.
because they're just a human being
Yeah.
like anyone
Yeah.
else, you
Right,
know?
exactly. Like,
It's
had you not known who they were, you would have treated them just like anyone else. So
exactly
what's the difference of you
right.
knowing who they are or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remembered what I was going to say
Mm,
too.
it
Um
came back?
so it's like looking at our time like everything as an investment is super important. So
Mhm.
it's like how you spend your time, even in your free time, is an investment. And you could
Yeah.
either invest in yourself or you can invest in like the degradation of yourself.
Yeah.
It's like you either best in building yourself up
Yeah.
or you invest in tearing yourself
Mhm.
down.
It's life and death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like that goes back to what I was saying about like the money you want to make. It's like okay, if you want to make more money, then outside of work, you should be investing in stuff that's going to help increase your skill set, increase your, consciousness, increase the way you do things. But what most people do is they'll work like a low paying job and in their free time waste their time doing
Yeah.
nothing. It's like
Video games,
Netflix,
drinking, smoking
like
pot,
yeah, party, like it's and it's like why am I
online
not
date.
yeah, exactly, in big ways. But it's like, why invest in those things and then complain about where
Mhm.
you are in life?
Yeah.
Literally, no single person that you see who's successful got there by luck, got there by chance, got there by spending their time.
Right. Because
And
even look at the people that won the lottery and won millions of dollars. They got that by luck, but majority of them always end up back in poverty.
they do,
So if you get it by luck, it's not
yeah,
gonna
it
last.
won't last.
Yeah.
and and even the ones who won the lottery, they a lot of people they have played the lottery every single day for like several years. You know what I mean? Before they actually win, it's
Yeah.
rare. It's every now and then someone will get like a random ticket and they'll be like, "Oh, sweet, I got a ticket. I found it on the ground or something." But for the most
Yeah.
part, a lot of people that win lottery, that's just part of their practice. It's part of the ritual. It's like
Yeah.
go
Like buying their
grab a
pack of
ticket.
cigarettes
Yep,
and
and then
or
it's
whatever
like,
their
whoa, look, I
routine
hit the
is.
lottery
Yeah.
finally.
Right, right.
So even
Yeah.
that took like an action of like investment of time to go to the
Yeah.
gas station and get a ticket every time, you know.
Exactly.
But I don't recommend the
Mhm.
lottery strategy for success
No.
because it's the odds are too stacked against you.
Right. The
It's
odds are actually more in your favor to just take the risk and jump all in on your dreams.
yeah, build something
Mhm.
from the ground up. The
Yeah.
odds are way better. And
Mhm.
I mean, if you do it the right way, then you can increase the odds as well because I
Mhm.
think some people, it's just like you look at something and you think it's way easier to do than it really is.
Mhm.
And I realize it comes to that with people who like get into a spirit of like envy or jealousy when they see people that are successful, and they don't realize like how much work it took to
Yeah.
get to that
It's
point.
an unfathomable amount of work and dedication that went into their success because what you do in the darkness comes out in the light,
Yes.
always.
Yes.
So they had to be working countless hours and putting in more value, right? They value their time more.
Yes.
And then they invested it appropriately.
Yes. They sacrificed. It
Yeah.
was a sacrifice, and
Hmm.
it's like to in order to receive, you have to give. It's
Yeah.
like a law
Right.
of
Love is a sacrifice, and
yes,
love is the energy of growth and creation. So you have to sacrifice with love in order to gain.
to receive it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
all like a mutual process. There's duality in life, right? There's
Mhm.
light, there's dark. Well, there's giving and taking, right?
Mhm.
And so in
Yeah.
order to receive, you have to give. And so whatever you put out in terms of your time, however you spend your time, then you can expect to receive back what you put your time
Yeah.
into. And so if you
Right.
put your time into Netflix or into I don't know, Pokemon or whatever you put all your time into,
Yeah.
then if you get back nothing, then it's like, well, you invested into nothing.
Right.
Like maybe maybe you and that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself, enjoy life, do things that are fun, but it goes
Mhm.
back to what I was saying before, consciousness, awareness. You have no right to be dissatisfied with the state of your life if you haven't been doing the things that you need to do to change it.
Yeah.
It's like you
It all
you
starts from within. And
yes,
and if you're unhappy with where you're at, the only person to blame is yourself. For the most part,
for the most
obviously
part.
there's probabilities and statistics out there where there's people that have done extreme harm to others that
Yeah.
I mean, you could have just been a target and a victim for no reason.
Right.
There's infinite
Yeah.
possibilities and examples here, but for the most part, if you're at a point in life that or a place in life that you're unhappy with, look at what your habits and actions have built
Boom.
up and led to get
Boom.
you those results because you only can reap what you sow. So if you
Mm.
plant an apple tree, you're going to get an apple tree. But if you're expecting there to be an oranges coming off of that apple tree, then look back at the action you first took, which was planting the apple seed to begin with.
Facts. Facts.
Mic drop. No.
No. 1,000%. Yeah, it's really wild. But yeah, we should check in with the viewers for a second. What do you guys think about, the topic? How do you feel that you have experienced managing your time in life? How you value time? Um, is anything we're saying resonating with you? Do you agree with everything? Do you disagree? Love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below.
Yeah, and what's an example of an investment you made with your time that didn't pay out?
Mm.
Because then
And
we can learn from each other.
yes.
Help us learn and grow so we can avoid mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. Or a time that you've invested your time and it's paid off and
Yes.
you're happy with the time.
Right. What have you done in the darkness that came out into the light for
Yes,
others to see
yes,
and be inspired by?
very much so. It's all of the work that you see for success happens behind the scenes. That's what a lot of people don't realize. And Rome was not built in a day. That's a very common phrase, but I do think it's important to have that mindset when it comes to any version of success or a version of yourself that you want to see. It's like all incremental growth. It's like one small step at a time. Like you want to have a big vision of how you want your life to be, but you have to take small bites. There's one like life coach person I met named Keon Clinton. He's a local basically like a local celebrity type dude, but he has a philosophy that's called like 1% better. And it's
Mhm.
about like getting 1% better each day, challenging yourself to get 1% better each day. And I really like that philosophy of not having to feel like you gotta be there already, that you have to like see such huge incremental growth every day. It's really just about
Yeah.
being 1% better each day
Mhm.
because eventually,
Momentum. Build the
yes,
momentum. Yeah.
yes, eventually you will be at where you want to be.
Mhm.
So it's and it also I think that mindset helps you to enjoy the journey a lot better than
Yeah.
being so focused on the destination. Because when
Right.
you're like, hey, I want this or that, it's like, well, just if you wanna, for example, um bike for 25 miles, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like you get tired after 4 miles. Well, just keep biking every day. And once
Build it up.
you build it
Mhm.
up, next thing you know, you be riding 5 miles. Next thing you know, you be riding 6 miles. And after maybe a year, you'll be like, "Oh, wow, I'm at 25 miles, and I remember when I wanted to be here. Now I'm riding 30 miles." You know, it's like
Yeah.
you can always like work your way up to some goal,
Yeah.
but it's like start small. Don't try to eat the
Mhm.
whole cake at once, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's one bite at a
Yeah,
time.
one bite at a
And then it
time.
kind of reminds me of the concept too of like aim for a goal beyond which you can achieve because once you hit that 25 miles, depending on the goal, you might then get astronaut syndrome in the sense like you achieved it and you're like, now what?
Right.
Right? Versus
Get
if you're
stagnant.
always striving, and I'm getting goosebumps right now, so this must be channeling
Yeah,
some
yeah,
truth
yeah, yeah.
here. Like that if you're just always aiming in a direction that's beyond where you actually want to
Yes.
land, then you'll always keep going and growing and moving
Yes.
forward and you won't hit a brick wall once you reach that goal.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
We were not made to stay stagnant.
No.
And whatever beliefs you
Mm-mm.
have on human evolution, which there are many flaws in the theory of evolution, regardless, I do believe God wants us to continue to grow in life. Society grows, animals change, they adapt, the environment changes, adapt. We are supposed to be constantly evolving. And so when you feel like, dang, life is stagnant, it's because you're not doing what you created to do. You
Yeah.
should be evolving.
Mhm.
Evolution should always be the target in life. If
Yeah.
you've been the same way
Right.
for I don't know how many years. If you can look back and say nothing's changed,
Yeah.
that is a waste of your time.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah.
literally
And
driving down the street, throwing
mhm.
$100 out of the window because you have not been evolving and growing as a person.
Yeah.
And and it's like, what? How do you know if you've been evolving? Well, did you have a goal in mind and work towards it?
Mhm.
If you've been having a goal that you've been working toward, then you've been evolving in life.
Mhm.
And so, but if you have not had any goal, not had anything you've been working towards, and you've just been chipping away. You've just been
Mhm.
burning money. You've just been throwing
Mhm.
money out the window.
You actually are going backwards. It's not even
Mhm.
stagnation because stagnation would be keeping a neutrality between
Yes.
going forward and moving back. Stagnation would keep you in a neutral position. But if you're doing nothing, you're actually going backwards.
Right.
And it's going to be a lot more time needed, more investment, more resources to move yourself forward the more time passes because now you're moving against entropy. So now you have to fight entropy. You have to fight death because we're only on our way towards death. so
Yeah.
so it's like it's a harder struggle. There's more and more weight the longer you go. The
Yeah.
longer you wait to get started, there's more weight against you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like I realize that there's a lot of people that cannot like evaluate themselves in a healthy way. I think sometimes people either have an inflated sense of ego and they think that they've done way more with their time or their life than they have. And then you have people who have a deflated ego and they feel like they've been not productive and wasting time. Both of those is bad because
Yeah.
you should be able to appreciate the small incremental successes that you've had because that just gives you power, fuel, motivation to keep going. And if you've been doing things that you think are important, but the results don't match what you think you've been doing, then having a healthy assessment of that and say, okay, how do I switch this up to where I'm actually able to make progress and I'm not like just having this inflated sense of ego related to my activities. And one thing that comes to mind
Mhm.
is like there are some people who consider themselves to be religious, but they aren't anything more like God or Jesus than they were 5 years ago when they
Before they claim they yeah, yeah.
converted to Christianity. And it's like
Mhm.
you should be more like Jesus if you've been studying his word and being in the church and like
Yeah, if you actually believe and embody it,
yeah,
you
if you
should be a
believe it, you
reflection of
should be
it. You should
more
be
like him.
yeah,
But
like
you get
yeah.
these people
Mhm.
that's like lifetime saints, but they're the same way that they was when they started. And it's like that's not evolution.
They're just living in the
That is
secular world.
stagnation.
Yeah. Or is it degression?
Or
Like, is it?
regression.
Yeah, regression,
Yeah.
degression,
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely
digression. No, I'm just
right,
kidding.
digression. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
As we digress.
right. Yeah, it's a waste of a person's time in life. I mean, honestly, if I wasn't going to actually live out my religion, I would not waste my Sundays going to church. I
Yeah,
would not waste my
right.
time like, you know, trying to
No, you would waste your Sundays going to
well, yeah,
church
I would actually be
because it's
wasting
not a
my
waste by
Sundays
you
going to
going.
church. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like literally you better off just staying home and just watching TV or like making like really just don't waste the time cuz it's like the same thing that I was saying earlier about people that are successful putting in work behind the scenes like to be loving human being takes
Mhm.
hard work and effort outside. Like you gotta sacrifice your energy to look past yourself and be like, hey, how do I give in? So it's almost like the supporting like the counter side to the selfishness we talked about earlier
Yeah.
is like, okay, but how do you like consider other people in your decisions in your time and how you're giving to them, how you're like sewing into somebody to help them be better. That's what's making you more like Jesus. That's what's making you more a Christian. Is when
Yeah.
you are like giving your time in a meaningful way.
Right.
You're donating your time to help build somebody up. That's just
Yeah.
going to reflect into where
Mhm.
you are showing up as like this real person that people could look back and think of you and say, "Hey, this is a actual Christian that I met. This person, I believe they really follow God, believe in God because they've always just been so generous with their time, like their
Yeah.
spirit. Like you can just smile at somebody, and that's a way of giving something
Mhm.
meaningful to them
Yeah.
that can change their life.
Right. You
And it's
never
like,
know.
why would you not do that?
Yeah.
It's
Like how
cheap.
the people wear like the free hug shirts. It's like we're just
Yeah, exactly.
giving out little doses of love.
Yes,
It's an
that
investment.
yes,
Mhm.
that is investment, and that's shifting the world in a substantial way. Like that's how you can be a global citizen that is using their time to make the world a better place,
Yeah.
not just using their time for lust, for hedonism, for things
Yeah.
that's just like, consuming,
That leads to
consumption.
decay.
Yes,
I mean, there's only two sides of the coin in that regard. It's growth or decay. If
right,
you're not growing, you're dying. If
r-
you're dying, you're not growing.
right,
And decay can even be like internal. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It could be spiritual decay, psychological decay,
yeah,
emotional decay.
yeah,
Physical decay then is, I mean, with time, but also can be linked because if you're decaying internally, it's going to reflect externally at some point. There's just a
yeah,
little lag factor.
for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of time, if I can just kind of steer the ship in another direction,
Hmm.
can we also talk about the ethereal nature of time? So
Ooh.
another thing that I find um interesting about time, how we think about it, is like we see time as like minutes, seconds, hours, something that can be quantified,
Measured.
measured,
Hmm.
but how much of that is like reality and how much of that is a construct. And so,
Yeah.
like, we think about our past, we think about the future, we try to quantify time in those ways, but in reality, the only time that exists is now.
Yeah.
And I even have like a tattoo that says the time is now to remind myself to stay present, stay conscious because the things that have happened in the past no longer exist actually.
Mhm.
The things that happen in the future don't exist yet.
Yeah.
And so what you only have is the time that's right in your grasp right now.
Mhm.
And if you spend too much time thinking about the past, you're actually wasting your time.
Well, you're just recreating the
Yeah, because
past,
you're
and then your current moment is your past.
right.
So you live. That's when they say you live in the past.
Yes,
Mhm.
literally, and that is not a great use of time.
Right.
Unless it's something that's going to help inform you for like a decision that you
Right.
make in the present,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
the present, which is the
A
moment, the
gift.
gift, right?
Mhm.
So that
Yeah.
in the if you are like utilizing your past to help make your moment better, which will in turn make your future better,
Mhm.
then that's the only time I think that somebody should be spending time in their past. But if
Yeah. Memories only serve the purpose to learn from, to not create or recreate the mistake moving forward.
right,
It's for character growth.
right,
Mhm.
not to like spend your time just it's both of these things is bad. If you spend your time recounting past struggles, bad things that hurt you, like that is not a good way use of your time because you just like re-wounding yourself. You are
Yeah.
like experiencing these things negatively and it's just dragging you down. And you also don't want to spend too much time thinking about all the successes that you've had and like the great experiences you had because those things don't matter now. Like you could have been a millionaire 10 years ago. That's not helping you right now. So what are you
Mhm.
doing right now
Mhm.
to make your life better? Like what did you learn from that experience? How do you want to show up? Think about those things, like quantify them, and then just like set them down, put them in a
Mhm.
box. Like if you could like think about past memories, it's kind of like an organization system of boxes that you that you go to, you pull it down and pull from when you need to. That's better than if the place is just you've been hoarding and you got your memories everywhere and you can't even get around the house because
Yeah.
your memories are just stroll everywhere. You want your memories to be organized, nice, neat, organized.
Yeah.
So
Then
that
you're
way,
weighed down from experiencing your future.
yes,
Yeah. Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
And you don't have the capacity to invite new experiences. I really like this concept of hoarding because it's like if somebody's a hoarder, you're not going to want to have guests over because you know your house is a mess. And I know everybody here has a friend or somebody like that that their house is just so messy that they don't have people over because it just can't.
And
It's
if
just
they
not neat.
do have people over, it's because they all live in hell. No, no, I'm serious. My birth mother, she was a hoarder. Like
Mm,
what you would
mhm.
see on that TLC
Uh-huh.
show,
Uh-huh.
Hoarders.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad that you would have to like squeeze to walk through just
Yeah.
to get from like the back door to the front door. You'd have
Yeah.
to crawl over things, get over things, move things just to move from room to room in the house. So, and everyone that congregated anywhere she lived, let me tell you, from the streets, from like, I mean, like the streets of hell. Because I mean, yeah,
Mm.
they were from the streets, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about like felons, druggies,
Mhm.
people that are just in it for themselves,
Mhm.
just people with mental illnesses. Like she would be in and out of like mental institutions and bring back friends, and so I've seen quite the spectrum in my day, but those are the type of people that hang out in the hordes.
Mhm.
Like if people are actually like okay with those environments,
Yeah.
it's a level of hell that you just are in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think, just um kind of recounting the type of people that show up in a place that's unorganized, that feels like hell, that's hoarding. It's a good way to connect it to what I was saying about like your time in the past and
Mhm.
how you're allowing those things to just stay strolled over. How hard is it like and we talked about this in previous episodes, but it's like when you get in alignment with that frequency of the past, you have people around who are not helping you move forward. Typically, people will come and go as they please in your life and just like they aren't help build you up. They're actually taking from you. They're not quality people. It's like,
Yeah.
what does your mind home look like? That's the way I like to look at it. What's your mental palace? Is it clean? Is it organized? Or is it just stroll all over? Is it
Mhm.
hoarding? Because if your mind is just allowed to be messy and not organized, and you just walk through your mental palace and you think about the past all the time, it's
Mhm.
because you haven't learned how to effectively organize your mental system and
Mhm.
utilize the memories that you
Mhm.
have in an effective
Mhm.
way.
Also, I like to think that the external is just a reflection of the internal self. So when you walk into someone's home, you can tell when they are chaotic internally,
Yes,
when they're disorganized
exactly.
internally, because that reflects in their
Yes.
home. So vice versa. I used to have like this cleaning company, and I'd help individuals kind of like purge and
Mhm.
organize, because if you're suffering out here, because there's a direct correlation of your
Mhm.
environment to your internal mental state.
Mhm.
So if you live in a complete hoard and it's absolute chaos, there's no way you can organize the internal mind.
Mhm.
You have to organize out here, and then it like reflects back inward, and then you can actually like get a footing to organize internally.
Mhm.
Or like if you're, say you go through like a traumatic event, everything is like perfectly organized in your home, you go through the trauma, now you're in disorganization, then all of a sudden your house, you can't keep your house together,
Mhm.
like it's what's reflected, what's going on in here will be reflected in your environment out here. And it's the same concept of when you go into an environment that's chaos.
Mhm.
Imagine every environment you walk into is a petri dish, and you're that cell that's going into the petri dish, and now your cell is going to get saturated, like we've talked about osmosis before,
Mhm.
cellular osmosis. When you are the cell, put yourself in that environment, that petri dish, now you're going to absorb whatever energy is dominant in that environment. So if
Mhm.
you, say you were online dating like we talked about, and you go over to this new person's house that you're dating, and their house is completely the opposite of how you live. It's trashed, and maybe you have codependency, so you don't leave. And you stay, and then all of a sudden you date this person against your spirit's will, and then all of a sudden you start noticing that your house is all disorganized and dirty, because that's the standard that you just absorbed in the new environment you're hanging out in every night.
Right.
So,
No, it's
not
true.
like I'm speaking
Right.
from
Not like,
experience
it
or
couldn't be.
anything.
Well, hey, life teaches us lessons. And so when we get those lessons, those lemons, we learn to make lemonade. And the best way
Yes.
to learn from them
Juice.
is to do differently in the
Yes.
future.
Mhm.
And so I would say some golden, nuggets to chew on as we kind of wrap up here is make sure that your time is being assessed, that you are learning how to manage your time, similar to how you learn to manage your finances, how you learn to manage your diet, your calories, how you learn to manage everything else. You got to learn to manage your time because everything is connected to it. Everything goes back to time. It's your most important, valuable resource that you have. If you're not going to and there's typically a correlation between people who manage their time well and who manage their money well, and who manage their
Yeah,
fitness well, and who manage
because
these
it's
other things.
resources.
It's all
Yeah. It's
connected,
it's
right?
resource
And
management.
yes. And so being able to learn how to manage one thing, then you can learn how to manage other things. And if
Mhm.
you're going to learn how to manage anything else, whether it's your finances, whether it's your health, whether manage your time because it's the most precious resource that you have.
Yeah. Start there, then go to finances.
Yes, exactly. Because
Because
when you
it's
can,
all linked.
yeah, when you can manage your time. So, how are you
Mhm.
investing? How are you investing? That's
So
the
how are
question.
you investing in the next few days, few
Mm,
weeks, months,
mhm.
and years? Share
Yes,
with us.
yes. And I want to thank everyone for investing your time in exploiting the explicit. Our goal, our job is to help you expand your
Yes.
consciousness and grow and become closer to the highest evolved state of yourself that you can be.
Yes.
And we're
Here.
all on this journey together, growing and evolving together.
In our own little petri dish.
Yes. So we're
Yes.
glad you're on this journey with us. Hopefully, this episode has been a blessing to you, and
Mhm.
you'll walk away from this and look at your time differently.
Mhm. Well, Well, thank you all for joining us on episode 8 of Exploiting the Explicit, where we learn from life and grow with each other.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.